For many Marvel fans, Avengers: Endgame didn't just conclude a saga, it defined an era. Since then, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, MCU, has experimented with new characters, tones, and storytelling styles. While some projects landed well, others left fans longing for the emotional weight and narrative clarity of Marvel's golden years. That's exactly why Avengers: Doomsday already feels like the spiritual sequel to Endgame, and why the Russo brothers' return is being celebrated rather than questioned. If you think about it thoroughly, Doomsday doesn't just promise another Avengers movie. It represents a course correction, a culmination, and a renewed sense of purpose for Marvel Studios. And at the heart of it all are Joe and Anthony Russo, the directors who once carried the Avengers to their highest peak. Avengers: Endgame set the bar too high. Released in 2019, Avengers: Endgame was more than a blockbuster, it was a cultural event. It paid off over a decade of interconnected storytelling, delivered unforgettable character arcs, and gave fans genuine emotional closure. From Tony Stark's sacrifice to Steve Rogers choosing a life beyond the shield, Endgame felt earned. It respected its characters, its audience, and the journey that led there. Since then, every Avengers-related announcement has been compared to Endgame, often unfairly, but inevitably. That's why Avengers: Doomsday feels different. It's not trying to replace Endgame. It feels like it's continuing its legacy. Why Avengers: Doomsday feels like Endgame's true successor. Unlike earlier post-Endgame projects, Avengers: Doomsday is being positioned as a large-scale narrative event rather than just another chapter. Everything about it, its stakes, its title, and its creative leadership signals finality, consequence, and impact. The word Doomsday alone suggests irreversible change, much like Infinity War and Endgame did. Fans are expecting real losses, moral dilemmas, and decisions that reshape the MCU moving forward. This isn't just about fighting a villain. It's about facing the consequences of everything that has happened since Endgame: the multiverse fractures, abandoned timelines, and unresolved legacies. In that sense, Doomsday feels less like phase filler and more like phase destiny. The Russo brothers, Marvel's most reliable storytellers. There's a reason fans trust the Russo brothers with the Avengers more than any other directors. From Captain America, the Winter Soldier to Civil War, Infinity War, and Endgame, they consistently delivered stories that balanced spectacle with character-driven storytelling. What sets the Russos apart is their understanding of ensemble casts. They know how to give multiple heroes meaningful moments without turning the movie into chaos. Every character matters, every choice has weight, and every action feeds the larger narrative. When the Russo brothers are involved, Marvel feels focused. That's why their presence in Avengers: Doomsday instantly elevates expectations. It's not nostalgia, it's trust built on results. Carrying the Avengers from the moment they entered Marvel. If you trace the Avengers' most defining moments, the Russo brothers are at the center of them. They didn't just direct movies, they shaped the Avengers' identity. The Winter Soldier transformed Captain America from a symbol into a conflicted soldier. Civil War fractured the Avengers emotionally and ideologically. Infinity War dared to let the villain win. Endgame gave closure without cheapening sacrifice. From the moment they entered Marvel, the Russos carried the Avengers with a clear vision. They understood that superhero stories work best when grounded in human emotion, not just CGI spectacle. That same philosophy is exactly what Doomsday needs. Why fans are not complaining and shouldn't. In an era where franchise fatigue is real, it's telling that fans aren't complaining about the Russo brothers' return. In fact, many are relieved. The MCU doesn't need constant reinvention, it needs consistency, coherence, and confidence. The Russos bring all three. Their involvement suggests Marvel is prioritizing storytelling over experimentation for the sake of it. And frankly, if something works, why fix it? Marvel's biggest successes came when it trusted creators who understood its characters deeply. Avengers: Doomsday feels like Marvel acknowledging that lesson again. Doomsday could redefine the MCU's future. Just as Endgame closed the Infinity Saga, Doomsday has the potential to redefine what comes next. Whether that means passing the torch, collapsing timelines, or reshaping the multiverse entirely, the film feels positioned as a major narrative turning point. The Russo brothers excel at endings that feel both epic and personal. If anyone can deliver a story that honors the past while setting up the future, it's them. That's why Doomsday doesn't feel like a reboot, it feels like a reckoning. Final thoughts: trust the Russos, trust the story. When fans say Avengers, Doomsday feels like a sequel to Endgame, they're not exaggerating, they're recognizing a pattern. A pattern of thoughtful storytelling, emotional stakes, and creative leadership that understands what made Marvel great in the first place. The Russo brothers aren't just carrying the Avengers again, they're carrying Marvel's hope of recapturing its narrative soul. And honestly, that's something worth being excited about. Subscribe to SuperHeroPro on YouTube as well. Thanks.